Welcome to Rebel Heart Tarot Talk, and this is our cards for June. So the cards that we're going to take between myself, Alice Grist, and Niki Cotton, who are the creators of Rebel Heart Tarot, are going to be looking at the overview of June for everybody watching this. We're also going to look at the new moon, the full moon, the summer equinox, and then a final card to kind of tidy it all up and sew it together, where we will be looking at what perhaps we've learned and experienced throughout June. Hi, Nikki.
I love you, right?
I'm good, thank you. I'm intrigued to see what June holds for us.
I know, I was going to say, it's got, with things like the solstice as well, it's kind of quite a lot going on this month. It's that lovely warm air as well that kind of sticks around from morning to evening rather than just being when the sun's up.
Yeah, and we've got that solstice is right a couple of days after the new moon as well.
New moon, yeah.
Like we will be moving into kind of new starts, new beginnings and potential, and then the summer solstice, which
Nice.
is,
we all need a bit of that, don't we?
So get to Stonehenge and
I know, yeah.
Oh, I wish I could.
This is nice. So this is for the overview for the month.
Oh, love the Ace of Wands.
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming up a lot in a lot of my private readings, and it's a very popular card at the minute. I think maybe we're all stepping into a recognition of the fact that we are actually in control of our lives, and we can start to write our own stories and be creative about it.
New ideas flooding through. Maybe we've got a bit of space after the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Perhaps the various things we've lived through for the last 6 months or so, maybe longer for some, have allowed us to create space. There's been, a lot of tower moments, people with the tower card, people with difficult cards over the last few months. And I like the tower and I like cards like that because they're actually clearing space.
Yeah.
Which is what you can't just, if you look at any tower card, it's hectic and it's crazy and there's all kinds of energy going on. So you can't, excuse me, am I here?
Yeah, you are. While you're frozen.
Apologies, my phone.
There you go, come back.
Apologies. My phone has taken to ringing through my computer, and I don't know.
Well, no, they have updates, and then they suddenly go, "Oh, it's going to do this now," which is great. But when you're trying to do recordings and things, you go, "No, I don't want all these messages coming up."
Somebody trying to tell me I was in a car accident recently. I'm like, no. Anyway, so I think we need the tower to dismantle and fall apart, which feels painful and difficult. But that's because we need the clear space, which is, there's so much clear space on that Ace of Wands.
It's a bit like being a hoarder, isn't it? You've kind of got to, at some point, you have to go, actually, I need to get rid of some of this stuff, be it literal stuff or mental and emotional and so on and so forth, and clear the decks and make room for other stuff. Otherwise, you just end up living in a really small space because you've got so much stuff around you.
And it's hard to let go of a lot of that stuff. So emotional things, relationships, connections, ways of being that we've become used to sitting with, to let them go is hard, even if they're painful, because they're familiar and they feel a bit like
and there's security in the familiar, isn't it? Even if it's negative, there's a security in it because you kind of go, I know what's expected of me in this moment, in this space, in this way. And if I get rid of that, I don't know what's coming, and that can be weird.
And what's coming is you get to control and write your own story, which in itself can be also quite scary and disconcerting.
Discombobulating, there you go. I love that word.
It's discombobulating. Yeah, because perhaps you've never given yourself opportunity to write your own story before. Maybe you've always just kind of flowed along in other people's paths and realms and the directions you've been pointed. But the Ace of Wands it's quite an epic card. It's a lovely card, but it's epic because it's actually, I know this is all on you.
New page, new chapter.
Yeah.
Sharpened pencil.
Yeah, you've got the eraser there too. If you choose,
you don't like something, you can rub it out.
Yeah, so I love that for June. It feels expansive. Like what, just thinking about it as a personal card, what do you want to do with your life and how does it start right now? And how do you make it happen? Like, how do you commit to it and start to one foot in, one word after another, begin to create it?
Yeah, it is. It's about the small steps, isn't it? Take one small step a day, and by the end of the year, you've walked a marathon.
That's it. Yeah, sharpening your pencil doesn't guarantee a written book, but starting to do it, continuing to sharpen, continuing to write, will in time create a book. Yeah, which is the story of your life. So I love that. I love that. It's a
Yeah,
lovely hopeful card for a bright sunny month.
yeah, definitely a change in the season.
Mm.
So right, okay, next is full moon.
Yeah, which is the 4th of June.
4th of June, yeah.
Okay, so straight into June and straight into a full moon.
Yeah, nice. Which is kind of beginnings and endings all at the same time.
Yeah,
9 of Wands is you on your tightrope.
I love that card. Yeah, we have to step out into the unknown. This is a really good follow on actually from that Ace of Wands. To almost fast forward to the 9 of Wands. The recognition that you are going to have to straddle the unknown, but that you are capable, you are supported, you do have spiritual guidance and help around you, as well as, you know, real life friendship and people who care, who are going to kind of give you what you need to help you to make these leaps into the unknown. And the unknown is where it's all at, unfortunately.
Yeah, but there's also something quite fresh about that as well, because you're kind of discarding all your preconceived ideas about stuff, and you can kind of move forward with some curiosity, which is like these umbrellas that have got the little faces and things on them. And you're facing forward with it rather than facing back on yourself. And I think there's something really nice about that keep things curious, isn't that?
Yeah, I think there's deep skill that you've achieved over a lifetime as well that you'll bring into this. So it might feel like, oh, it's the unknown. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I should. However, you know, when you look at it objectively, that you're more than capable. And you have loads of transferable skills, and whatever it is you're trying to write into your life, the things you're trying to create and grow with, they're just that next risk away, the next leap. It just needs to be taken and stepped out into.
Yeah, step out onto and leave. I think it's that thing, isn't it? You're walking forwards and leaving behind the stuff that no longer works, which is for that full moon, is perhaps dismantle the stuff that you don't want to take forward with you into the next 6 months of the year. Whilst you're writing things in a new way with that, you know, with the Ace of Wands, and then moving through into this.
Feels like evolution. Like, even though it might at times be challenging and a little discombobulating, it's still your soul, your spirit, the person that you are on this planet, growing and becoming.
I also think there's about having a bit of trust in yourself as well, because I know it's about balance because you're on this tightrope, but it's about trusting that you've got it handled.
Yeah, but it's a lovely card. It's also very light. So whilst there's a tricky side of that unknown and the trust, it's taking you places, and there's a confidence to it.
Yeah.
So no matter how, you know, you might doubt yourself, I think that card is representative of the fact you will overcome those doubts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So next we have the new moon. 18th of June.
I know. We're motoring through the month, which is ridiculous. Look, these are all really, look, the Fool.
Oh, these are all really like in the same
Yeah.
vibration, the same energy.
Yeah.
Gosh, yes. So the Fool. Shall I read it from the book?
Yeah,
Just
go on.
just for change. So the Fool is the first card in the tarot deck. Card 0.0. It's where we all begin. And let's have a look. This is the little book that comes along. The Fool: naivety, daring flow, transformation, risk, innocence, and evolution. Here we see the Fool leaving planet Earth, her home, and taking a daring jump into a new environment. Her space-suited dog speaks to the voices inside that are loyal to her growth and promise success and adventure, even perhaps against better sense. This Fool prods us not to weigh the risks, but to pursue our naivety with hope and heart into new ventures. The Fool is the essence of life. Without her risk-taking, her daredevil attitude, and her occasional thoughtless folly, there would be no evolution. A fool who stays in her comfort zone may live a life less celebrated. The Fool's star-studded cry of self-belief, marked with her outstanding catsuit, is one of purity and a sincere belief that she is safe. The truth of this is less important than her wholehearted desire to start to walk towards her passions and ambitions. So a prompt for us this month with this card is it more foolish to take or not take the path towards the unknown? And your affirmation, I follow my heart into transformation.
But again, that's a really good card for a new moon, isn't it? Where you're just kind of stepping out into something that is unknown, but also through those other cards that we've just had, the Nine of Wands and the Ace of Wands, it's kind of about starting something fresh and kind of using that 6 month, maybe that 6 month break in the year to kind of go, okay, this last 5 months have been, you know, whatever they've been, and it's about, it doesn't need to stay like this for the rest of the year. We can actually make a change, and maybe we just need to go for it. Trust in ourselves and just launch.
It feels like a really adventurous month.
Yeah.
Between the three cards, I mean, they just all sit hand in hand together, like that new idea, the risk of taking it, and then the risk of really leaping even further with the Fool. Wow, I'd love to know what people are up to this month.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, definitely.
If you have some adventure you're heading out onto, or some idea that you're pursuing, or, you know, a job that you're leaving, or a relationship that you're putting behind you, these cards are all kind of there for that kind of energy of new starts and then reclaiming life as your own. Just lovely.
We all need a bit of that.
We do. So let's do the solstice card.
And it's this time of solstice. Yeah, how mad is that?
I know. When you said to me, oh, the solstice is in June, I was thinking, surely not. It's still January.
I know. Honestly, I'm still in
yet.
January as well. I don't know where the year goes. And then I think, God, is that just because I'm getting old that I'm now going, oh, time's, you know, ticking along so quickly. But
something's happened. They've spun
world's on fast forward.
Crazy.
I know. Queen of Swords.
Queen of Swords at the solstice. Protect self-protection and boundaries, perhaps within these kind of leaps of faith that we are taking and these movements forward. It can be really easy, I think, to be really open because you want support, you want help, you want to tell everybody what you're doing and get their feedback. Perhaps at this point of your risk-taking, adventure-taking journey in June, it's time to bring it inwards and not feel the need to share with everybody. Because, you know, I think sometimes in life you get a great idea, it feels wonderful, it feels good, you talk to someone about it and they immediately poo-poo it, and before you know it, you just kind
of don't
do it. Yeah.
It's that everybody has an opinion, isn't it? Sometimes you just got to follow your gut and do it and then talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, and
it's difficult when you're excited by something.
Yeah, and people do like to put a little dampener sometimes on things. Oh, they don't even maybe mean to. They just ask a question that sends you spiraling into self-doubt or questioning. But I'd say with the Queen of Swords is now is the time to protect your idea. Now is the time to recognize you've had all those three cards that are telling you this is absolutely the right thing, and it's going to be great, and it's going to be an adventure, and you don't quite know where it's headed, but it's worth it. The Queen of Swords is like, now keep it close to your chest. Only tell the most trusted advisors if you want to tell anybody, and start working in secrecy, and trust that the things that you're working towards will be better composted and grown from a place of kind of this inner sanctum of holding them.
I've never thought of this card as like that. I've always thought of this card as really dynamic and out there. But actually it's really interesting about the kind of, put your shutters down perhaps. And
well, she has the boundaries, doesn't she? So what are the boundaries?
Yeah, she does.
And the Queen of Swords, you know, we do look at her as this kind of force of nature, really. And she's quite scary, like character. She's probably quite intimidating if you know anybody who kind of fits that role. They're quite intimidating, but they're not intimidating if you're the right person for them. They're very, you know, the Queen of Swords has a lot of love. She's very welcoming. But she has this self-belief, and it has to be protected again at all costs. So yeah, she's protecting her ideas from the nonsense of other people.
It's a good way of saying it.
Yeah. And I guess for the summer solstice as well, the other reason, you know, separate from the other cards, if we were to just take it in like as a solo card, it's just standing in your power and recognizing who the fuck you are, basically.
I like that.
Well, summer solstice is the heightened part of the year. It's,
Yeah, it is.
the world feels buzzy and electric and
Yeah,
energetic with life. So why the hell shouldn't you,
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So find ways to be in your power.
Right, okay, and then this is
This is
that's the overview for the end of the month.
God, I'm getting sick of this card. Such a pretty
I
card, but
know,
I'm getting sick of it.
keeps coming
It's just
up.
nearly every month, and just every reading I do, it's just constantly there.
Maybe this is that feeling though, by the end of the month, we might be feeling, because we've been so energized in the get-go and we're sort of steaming ahead, and it's that, when you've started something and it's really exciting, and then you hit that bit where you do maybe that thing where you've got people questioning you or people with their opinions, and then you start doubting yourself and you start kind of going inward and going, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, and the imposter syndrome starts on your shoulder. And maybe this is to don't allow those voices. And I know this is also about connecting with others, but maybe this is about looking at what you have internally available to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's the fair enough recognition that sometimes the kind of energy and excitability isn't sustainable
Yeah,
for, a full month. But she's in her glad rags. She's looking good. She's feeling perhaps a little bit lower than
it's
she
all
has
good.
been feeling, and maybe a few things have gone wrong and it could throw her off course. But she has those in the background. She's got this beautiful, bright, vibrant light, which is, perhaps sustaining her in some way. But she also has these offers of tea and toast, which I just love. There's people around, there's things around you that are worth plugging into, and
Yeah,
don't focus on the things that have gone wrong, because
yeah,
they've
don't focus on the
can't
negative. Yeah,
change them.
yeah, no, you can't. It's moving on from it, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's
I'm
really,
going through that hurdle where things might feel a bit sticky, where it's not as exciting anymore because it's becoming normal. And so that buzz of that first flurry of things is kind of abating slightly, isn't it?
yeah, and life just gets in the way sometimes. You can have the most exciting things in the world going on, and then you spill your milk, stuff happens. You have a week full of one calamity to the next, which may have nothing to do with this brilliant new start that we're all moving into, but it can put, dampener on it and kind of make it less joyful. But you're still in your glad rags. You're still able to get up, turn around, and kind of find your way back to it. May be community. So maybe towards the end of June will be time best spent with other people doing things that are just nice and easy and loving, and kind of in little collectives of friendships and partnerships and stuff like that, just to bring ourselves back around to ourselves. Yeah.
Nice.
I'd say for the most part, June seems like an absolutely mega
month.
Yeah. Quite looking forward to revisiting this video throughout June and kind of checking in on where we are.
Where we're at, yeah.
Yes, it feels, apart from that last card, which is a little bit of a slump at the end. But the cards
really
are always
dynamic.
Yeah, the cards are really reflective of truth. So we'll have all that dynamism, all that adventure. That card, the 5, doesn't change any of that. It's just a little blip that perhaps we've knackered ourselves out.
Knackered ourselves out. Yeah, I know, which does
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, just a bit tired because we've put all that amazing energy into everything. All right, then. So then we'll be back next month with, oh my gosh, August.
July.
No, July. God, I really am skipping ahead. I thought I was doing baby then. I was like, what?
Yeah, July. Yeah, you've got one more month before you're thinking of that.
Yeah, that's really not long. Anyway, gosh. Okay, so then July, then August.
Yeah, then August.
Thank you for that little correction.
No, it's all right. Maybe you need a holiday in July.
Baby brain. All right then, guys.
All right, love.
We'll see you in
In a
July.
month's time.
A month's time.